Why do you want to be a lobby boy?
Who wouldn't? At the Grand Budapest, sir.
And so my life began. Junior lobby boy in training under the strict command of Monsieur Gustave H. Many of the hotel's most valued and distinguished guests came for him.
I love you.
I love you. She was dynamite in the sack, by the way.
She was 84.
I've had older.
This was also when I met Agatha.
She's charming. She's so charming.
Is he flirting with you?
Yes.
I approve of this union.
I became his pupil, and he was to be my counselor and guardian.
The police are here.
Tell them I'll be right down. She's been murdered, and you think I did it. Hey! Stop! You're looking so well, darling. You really are. I don't know what sort of cream they've put on you down at the morgue, but I want some.
This is Madame D's last will and testament. To Monsieur Gustave H. I bequeath a painting known as Boy with Apple.
Wow. What? Who's Gustave H?
I'm afraid that's me, darling.
If I learn you ever once laid a finger on my mother's body, living or dead...
I go to bed with all my friends.
We need to make a plan for your survival. Hide this. It's in code and you might need a magnifying glass to read it, but it tells you exactly where and how to find Boy with Apple.
I'm a baker. I'm not a fence, if that's the term.
I want roadblocks at every junction for 50 kilometers. I want rail blocks at every train station for 100 kilometers.
Get in!
I want 50 men and 10 bloodhounds ready in 5 minutes.
Come with us now, if you dare, down a rickety staircase into a dank, dark basement. What awaits? The Saturday Night Freak Show.
And welcome back, friends and lovers, to the amazing Saturday Night Freak Show podcast. I'm your host.
Those are the pyrotechnics that go with the name.
I think we should do that.
The Saturday Night Freak Show.
Yeah, your iPod like explodes or fireworks start.
No, we gotta have one of those like
sparklers next. Not on the screen. Like,
now broadcasting from an underground command post. Yeah, the Saturday Night Freak Show.
There you go. I'm your host, Colin. I'm surrounded by a bunch of internet radio superstars.
Travis.
Sean. Brent. And every week we do the Freak Show. Every week we watch a movie, and then we gather around the bar and talk about it. Tonight,
that was a long week. Woo, that was a long week since that last movie.
Wow. Since that last one.
Feels like forever.
Yep. Tonight's pick was Brent's, and he's classing up the joint with some... We don't always watch, like, schlocky stuff. Every once in a while, we go for a little highbrow entertainment.
We do, yeah. Yeah, I guess, is this, yeah. Well,
this is eyebrow.
We watched the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Whoa, and we're all a little smarter because of
a little bit.
Now we see the world differently, right?
We're all a little more pretentious.
I got a lot out of this movie.
Well, you don't have to be pretentious, or you can be just you can get like an actual learned.
It's quirky.
Experience.
Wes Anderson movies have that quirky, like, it's like, is that funny? It's kind of funny.
I thought it was like actually funny though.
No, this was funny.
This is
but,
very funny.
Just the way like people walk to like a door, just the way people act and walk in these movies. They're just
it's precise. I watching like as the three guys would wander like from screen left to screen right.
Yes.
They had the
same
spacing between them
all the way down.
Yeah. What year is this from?
Sorry. Concentration.
It's from 2013.
2013.
I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was Christmas, right? Yeah.
Okay. Had no Oscar nods, anything, nominations.
May have been for script.
Yeah, there may have been something.
Somebody was nominated for something.
I didn't do much research on it.
This was a grab and dash.
So how'd you pick this movie?
What's the matter? You must have a long history with this movie to pick it, bring it to the Freak Show.
Or you just love Wes Anderson?
For the last 2 weeks, I'd been telling these guys that I had narrowed my next choice down to 3 different films. And those 3 films was either Badlands, Terrence Malick, Martin Sheen, Sissy Spacek, or it was going to be Koyaanisqatsi, which... I'm still not ready to show that one because I'm just afraid of what's going to happen.
It doesn't sound like a movie.
It
doesn't sound like a movie.
That's debatable.
Sounds like a drink.
But or else Back to the Future Part 2. And
oh, yeah.
I forgot. I own 2 of them, and I forgot both of them at my apartment. So I quickly hit up the video store, and, well, like, really, this was, like, the thing I saw that I wanted to touch, and turned out to be a good thing.
And you had seen it before.
I had seen it before,
okay.
yeah.
So this is the first time for the rest of us watching it. It's pretty much still a new thing.
Yep, it was new releases.
Well, if you got it from certain video store, it'd be a new release for 2 years.
That's true.
Be sitting on that wall.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, like, what's the assessment of Wes Anderson, filmmaker? I mean, we were briefly talking about, like, his catalog of movies, which actually fewer than I thought. You know, I thought he had done more movies, to be honest with you.
Right.
So maybe we should bring the listeners up to speed with what they are in case.
Well, he started with Bottle Rock, and then he went to Rushmore, which I think was like a huge success.
It was a huge success.
Mm-hmm. And then he followed that up with Royal Tenenbaums, which was another
pretty big one.
Big one. And then he did The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou,
which a lot of America fell on. They fell
well,
on.
yeah, they kind of. It was a different writing partner, and they kind of just didn't really. They were okay, you know. Like even myself, I saw it at the theater. I think Christmas Day, and I went out of it thinking that it just really didn't jive with me. But then I bought it and watched it over and over again, and like it's an acquired taste.
So you wanted to like yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, when it comes to after Rushmore, like I was on board with Wes Anderson. Anything he was doing, like. I don't own all of his films, but I've definitely seen them all multiple times. It really is. So, yeah, Steve Zissou, I came around to it. And then he did Darjeeling Limited. I didn't see that until it was out in video. But, again, it was kind of like a what? And then, like, the more and more I watched it, the better it got. And then Fantastic Mr. Fox was next.
Which is the completely animated.
Yeah. Then I think that was another big hit. And then Moonrise Kingdom, and then Grand Budapest Hotel. And there was a short in there. It's like a companion piece with Darjeeling Limited. It was the Hotel...
Chevalier?
Chalet?
Chevalier? Hotel Chevalier?
Chevalier? I don't know.
Chevalier?
I've never seen it. I don't know what you guys are talking
Something.
Chevalier.
I haven't seen either. It's that.
And as far as a companion piece, I mean, you really don't need that short film. I mean, there's like, I think Natalie Portman's in one scene in Darjeeling Limited, like one shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it just gives you more backstory on one of the characters.
So his style is like, well, I mean, this time around watching it, I got like a more distinct lock on like what his visual style is.
Yeah.
Which is, it's very odd. I mean, it's precise, and I don't want to keep using the term Kubrickian, but it
is.
Seems like his eye and Stanley Kubrick's eye for like composition and framing is very similar.
It's every frame is like a beautifully composed thing. Then even if they're going to move the camera, they move it to another just beautifully composed picture.
Anybody else notice the model work in this movie?
Yeah.
That was another thing. Does he do that a lot in his previous stuff? I haven't seen a lot of it.
Yeah, kind of, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, I think after Mr. Fox, I think
was it after Mr. Fox?
He got into that more.
I always thought it's like he's kind of like a weird like Terrence Gilliam or Terry Gilliam thing.
Puts it in the rest of the
save money on
Kingdom too. Did they do? I don't remember. Like distant model shots.
Well, they would do like there was the church when they're on the roof. I mean, there's almost it's even like almost like it's It's a set, maybe, in that one.
It looks artificial, even though it's supposed to be like an outdoor.
Didn't Royal Tenenbaums have like each segment started with like a picture, like just like a drawn picture of like whatever house or whatever? Like
it's the chapters from the book, and I think there are some drawings in there too. But yeah, because his brother does all of his artwork for him. Wes Anderson's brother does like like that style of painting that's in like every single one of his films.
The boy with the apple?
No, well, not that. It's more of like a childlike art. Like it's like weird paintings. Royal Tenenbaums has.
Yeah, I want to say the cover of Royal Tenenbaums didn't that like the Criterion had that kind of like.
Yeah, it's like cutout almost. Kind of
stuff. Or kind of like it almost looks like. I mean, it almost looks like grade school type drawing, but like good grade school drawing.
It's a lot like Where's Waldo. Like that's what I think of when I see his stuff. But it's a definite style.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
And it's I think what the two things that Wes Anderson and Kubrick have in common is like the center of the screen. You know, they don't deal with like the rule of thirds. It's like everything is just like dead center in the middle of the screen, and even like with the quick pans, like you guys were saying, it goes to, like there's that video online where like they take like a dotted line and put it right down the center of the screen, and then they go through like all different clips from his films, and like everything is just like dead on.
Everybody
right?
just kind of comes up the middle.
Yeah.
Well, it's a symmetry then. If you split the middle of the screen, one side should look, as a mirror of the other one.
Yes.
Because Kubrick does that too, But the thing that I was watching specifically on this one was the way that he moved his camera. Like they would always, the camera would move. It would do these pans where other movies, he would basically just rotate the camera. It wasn't like the camera actually moved through space. It just rotated. It would swivel, I guess.
Yeah.
The camera had swivels, and then there would be push-ins and dollies in, dollies out. So there'd be zoom-ins and quick zoom-outs. But then there was also a lot of dollying along the x-axis. Everything would move. You'd just move sideways. Yeah. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and he also this is the first film. Besides maybe Bottle Rocket was 4:3, but I'm not sure about that. But this is the first film where he basically the whole movie is 4:3 for an aspect ratio, and I've always thought of him as a widescreen director. But even in the 4:3, he fits so much into the frame.
That also helps with everything coming up the middle, like it being boxed out in 4:3. That just kind of puts focus on everything being in the middle more.
Yeah.
And the aspect ratios, this movie does switch between 4:3 and 235:1 widescreen, and then there's some 16:9 or 185:1, but it's letterboxed. So that was kind of weird because when you watch this on video, at the beginning it says please set your monitor to 16:9, which I thought that was interesting because you never use it. In the entire, But it's that change of aspect ratios in the movie is done to illustrate a different period of time.
And there, the girl walking up to in the beginning with the keys and the his monument. Was that his gravestone or?
Yeah.
Was it his gravestone?
I don't know.
Or just a statue.
Like a monument to him.
It had his head on, just a statue of him.
That
was in a cemetery. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a cemetery.
Was it? It was called something cemetery. The Lutz Cemetery.
It was. Yeah, it was a cemetery for sure.
And that was straight up 16:9.
Yeah, but there was a border.
Was there?
All around, yeah. Because I was looking at that going why is there a border around everything? But
all the way around?
Yeah.
Huh. Because then when they go to, what's his face, doing it's like a TV show or something, he's talking straight to the camera. And that's more of a...
Tom Wilkinson.
Yeah, the older author.
Yeah.
Well, he plays the same character as Jude Law. Jude Law is that character in 1960s?
68?
It was the 60s.
And they go back to 30s.
So we're assuming that the girl reading the book, the framing device, you only see her twice, at the beginning and at the end. She's reading the book, The Grand Budapest Hotel, in the present day.
Yes. You would assume.
I would assume. Yeah.
And then Tom Wilkinson is from 10, 20 years ago, and then he's remembering his youth in the 60s, and then he meets a guy who tells him a story from the 30s.
Yeah.
So that's where they're using the aspect ratios to illustrate which time period you're in.
Right. Yeah. And let's talk about, who all these actors are, because this thing is chocked full. Wes Anderson always,
chock full of nuts.
He starts with an ensemble cast, and then with each film, everybody that he's worked with comes back, and then the cast just keeps growing.
Pretty soon he's just gonna have Bill Murray working background.
Yeah,
There's so many people to work with.
Yeah, it started with Bill Murray and Jason Schwartzman, and now there are more cameos in these later films. It's just there's so many people.
Luke Wilson was the first.
Bottle Rocket, yeah.
Luke Wilson and Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see Owen Wilson returning much for his movies.
Wasn't Owen Wilson?
He was in
this.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Who was he in this?
He showed up later as one of the replacement concierge.
Shit.
Yeah.
Luke
Wilson wasn't in this.
No. Owen Wilson.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Owen.
You got
Owen.
flip-flopped. Yeah.
But Luke was in Bottle Rocket.
Yeah.
Luke was in Bottle Rocket and Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah, because there was an Indian guy in this. Wasn't he in Zissou? The Indian concierge?
Yep.
No Bruce Willis, though.
He works with him a lot.
Would you bring Bruce Willis back?
Yeah, I hear he's hard to work with.
Yeah.
Right here.
He's great in Moonrise Kingdom, though. I mean, I really enjoyed that movie.
He is great. But yeah, I mean, you've got Harvey Keitel. Harvey Keitel's back. Well, Ralph. Is it Ralph Fiennes or Rafe? Rafe Fiennes.
Doesn't know how to pronounce his own name, damn it. It's spelled R-A-L-P-H.
That's Ralph.
That's Ralph.
Ralph.
Rafe.
Is he Ralph? Ralph?
Oh, that sounds like an old cartoon. Ralph?
Ralph.
That was a cartoon, right?
Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes. He's the star.
He was awesome.
He's
He was
great.
very good.
He's fantastic. I
I love
my
it.
favorite Ray
You know,
Fiennes.
Almost any actor. Like Red Dragon was my favorite Ray Fiennes. Like everything he does, I'm like, this is genius.
He's a concierge at the hotel in the 30s segment.
Right.
And becomes like the main plot driver of the movie.
Yeah, really, yeah. He's like the dude that like sets up there's the guy that Jude Law is talking to that tells him about
Mary Abraham.
That
tells him about that other guy.
Oh, he's talking to Schwartzman, right?
Talks to Schwartzman, who tells him the story about what is F. Murray Abraham's character's name? The kid.
Zero.
Zero.
So
Zero.
This writer, played by both Tom Wilkinson and Jude Law, meets a reclusive. They thought he was a millionaire, the owner of the Grand Budapest Hotel. Like the place is run down and gone to seed, but this guy owns it. And it turns out that he used to be a lobby boy in the 30s, and he worked for the Ray Fiennes concierge, who was the greatest concierge of all time.
Yes, the greatest.
But he's romancing all these old ladies. Oh, and Tilda Swinton's in the movie, unrecognizable old lady makeup. And it's like, because she's in Snowpiercer. And in Snowpiercer, she's got like a wig and dentures. And I'm like, is there a movie where she just like looks like herself? Or is she always trying to... She was
Michael
Bob
Clayton.
Dylan in that Bob Dylan biopic.
Was
Did
she really?
she?
Yeah, she plays Bob Dylan.
What? Really? I
Yeah.
thought Kate Blanchett was the only one to play female Dylan.
I thought it was Tilda Swinton.
No, it's Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, if there was only one.
No, it was Kate Blanchett.
She was also
They only let women play Bob Dylan.
Yeah, right. Well, I think in one of the segments, and then she was the guard. She was the angel Gabriel in Constantine, which is probably like the biggest.
No one saw that.
She was in Michael Clayton. She won an Oscar for that.
Yeah, but that was again prosthetics.
No, not Michael Clayton.
Yeah, because she made herself look a little like.
Isn't that what a good actor is, though? To me,
Yeah.
to me, that's what a good actor is.
She's
Like, I don't like the Tom Cruises of the world because they just show up on set
I'm just Tom Cruise.
and fucking talk whatever's in the script, and then they go home. They put nothing in towards like, you gonna do a voice or no voice? Okay, Tom.
Yeah.
These
people can be like,
he's British, Tom, right?
How about like a lazy eye? No, okay, nothing. Okay, you're just gonna be Tom Cruise.
Half retard?
Can you at least get out of the fucking risky business underpants for the movie? Like,
But I mean,
I guess
you can't say that about Tom Cruise because he did the Tropic Thunder guy, which was
that was the one time. The one time. That's not his acting career. That's not like something he's known for.
Stacey Jackson, Rocket
And he didn't even do a voice. He was still Tom Cruise, just with a wig, and he just cursed a lot. He didn't even do a voice.
Born on the 4th of July.
Oh, come on. Born on the 4th of July. He looked a little balding. I'm sorry. And he sat in a wheelchair. If that's makeup, I guess. Sitting in a wheelchair. He really looks crippled. That's acting.
Did you see him not move his legs?
Not an ounce.
That wheelchair was just a crutch.
Crutch.
Yeah.
Well,
Tilda Swinton's like the female Gary Oldman, right? They're chameleonic. They're
word now.
chameleons.
Chameleonic.
Actors who can lose themselves in a performance by piling on the prosthetic makeup. But yeah, I mean, it was like, is that her or is this a really old woman? But she's the old lady that gets the plot moving. She's a rich old lady that Ray Fiennes has been romancing, and she dies. And then there's a question about her will, and she's a part of a big family, wealthy.
What's he call her? Where he's take hold of my hand, and it's like, oh dear Lord, what is this devilish color of varnish on your fingernails?
You don't like it? I find it repulsive.
Physically repulsive.
I'm physically repulsive.
Where is she going? Or he's like, fucking Minsk? Or I forget where. He's appalled by the fact that like she wants him to go with him.
Yeah.
That's what's so funny about the character. He's poetic until something strikes him by surprise, and he'll just like let out like whatever. Because
like American obscenity.
Because that's what I get from this character, right? I get from this character that he was like some street level kid, right? And then he's been working his way up to this point of being like so like high society, knowing whatever. Romancing these rich old ladies to kind of swindle them out of, or at least that's how I felt about it. Like, it felt like he was swindling her out of the hotel.
Not even swindling, but he just does it, and he
just does it.
Yeah,
because he didn't seem necessarily like.
But he's hoping for it. I mean, he expects it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like in a way he's kind of like a deceitful character, but the movie doesn't portray him like that whatsoever. It's almost like a naive innocence that he has. Like, we just romance and we just do whatever, and if they give me something, that's what I hope for. And,
yes.
But it's weird. It's just weird how they do it.
Yeah. And
so what he's got a.
Well, Adrian Brody's the kind of the head of the family at this point of Tilda Swinton's. I'm guessing he's the son, the oldest or whatever. And then there's. There's 3 sisters.
Oh yeah, they're funny, and they all talk simultaneously at the same time. It's like none of them talk by themselves. They all like blah, 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 blah. That's so funny.
The greatest line at the funeral was like, "Where's Cecilia? She's dead, you idiot! This is her. We're at her funeral or at her reading of the will."
Yeah, so disgusted. Yeah, Willem Dafoe is like the muscle behind the family,
like some Ukrainian or Russian.
Because this takes place. This is German or something. I mean, I don't know if it sounded
Swiss.
I thought it was Swiss. The Germans
I don't know why.
Coming
it just feels Swiss.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, because
it's a made-up country. Right?
That's what I was thinking. Right. That's what I was like. Something's made up.
But it's like they're in the Swiss Alps.
But they're giving. But they're giving you hints of like, here's the SS, even though it's the ZZ.
The zigzag division.
Yeah, the zigzag division.
So there's no Nazi flags hanging anywhere in the movie. It's a ZZ.
It's a ZZ, which come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting because I was looking at that going like, why would you make that determination? I mean, why wouldn't you set it in a real country? Why wouldn't you use the real SS? And it's like maybe by doing that, it kind of gives you more, liberty where you're not drawing, unwanted connections.
Not to take those elements of the story too seriously, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Because I mean, I was telling these guys that the rich family that, the old woman that dies, when they're going to their house, their family crest is a red shield with a black bird on it. Which a red shield. At least to me, I don't know everybody else, but a red shield, the red shields were the Rothschilds in Germany, Red Shield, Rothschild, la la la. So to me, they're at least making something of a connection between these are the Rothschilds, here's the fucking German SS. Yeah, they're not them, quote unquote, but they are them, quote unquote.
So they're free to use these kind of, use these types without actually saying this is...
But and still fit within the quirky mold of a Wes Anderson film, because I've never felt like any of his movies were set in reality.
Right.
No, none of them. They're all that like weird hyper reality.
Yeah.
He just strikes me as a filmmaker that like just got his sense of humor or his whatever just from foreign films. It seems like he just because the comedy alone is like, man, it's just
the setups seem foreign, but the payoffs, the reactions seem like something that an American would do. The boorish kind of like everything that he says is like, with the cursing and the like when Willem Dafoe falls off and.
Yeah,
falls off the edge, and what does he say? He
goes, shit, you got him! Oh shit, you got him! Yeah, he's like reciting a poem, like as he's about to die. Oh shit, you got him!
Yeah,
but that was cool because we didn't have to go into his past. You had that one time where the kid, because he's like teaching his the main kid.
Which is the Zero, the millionaire.
Zero,
the hotel. It's him as a.
The kid asks him if he was ever a lobby boy, and he's like, "What do you think? I got all this awesome blah 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 blah." But of course, towards the end, he reveals, I was a lobby boy, and
yeah.
Well, the character, the Ray Fiennes character, he's exceptionally detail oriented, very punctual. I mean, like he's a guy who runs like by clockwork. I think one of the earliest things we meet Zero is to send him off to take this, whatever, this coin, go to a flower shop, buy the flowers, go to the
buy the 3/4 inch candle, light it.
Yeah,
go to the thing, give me some chocolate.
Back.
Is any money back? Give to the crippled shoeshine boy.
Yeah, all this rattled off at high speed dialogue, which was kind of great. But he's also like a poet. Did he have books?
He had a collection.
That he
I don't know if they said he wrote. I don't think they said he wrote it. He just said the only thing I own is some ivory handled somethings. I don't know if he said silverware or something like that. And his book of poetry classics, romantic poetry, my collection of romantic poetry.
Yeah. He's just such a character.
He is awesome.
When because that's what I thought was really funny about this movie. It's like, it's like you got this really well-heeled kind of, distinguished gentleman who when he would, explode and he's like, well, fuck, and that'd be they use the profanity as a joke. The fact that it, all of a sudden
it's just coming out of him. It's so refined, and then he breaks it. That he reverts back to some street kid.
Yeah. Or he's like, "That's wonderful. I'm going to interrupt you now because the sirens are going off."
He's personality-wise, he's a jack of all trades because he can deal with the hoity-toity in a hotel setting or even in the prison. He brings his hoity-toityness to the prison, but also he's fine with conversing with these known criminals.
But I think what it is earlier in the movie he says something about no matter how evil somebody is, no matter if you treat them with some sort of love or special, whatever, they're gonna repay it back or whatever. So he just has that all through his life. It's I don't even think it's the idea that he is a jack of all trades, but he's so good at whatever, he's able to get everybody to do things for him, and because he's we gotta write a letter. Then he tells the kid to to write it down.
Right. Yeah.
He's so used to I like how disappointed he was in the kid. I told you to get the disguises, get the you couldn't even do that. He's so used to putting out all the demands of he knows what to do, but he just depends on other people to do it.
Yeah. But I suppose that comes from he was as a concierge or as the lobby boy. Their goal is to anticipate what everybody's going to need. And then he moves into the state where he is able to command these people and guide them and direct them in what he knows. This is how you service the customer. Of course, he's servicing the old ladies on the side also, but I think that's part of his personality.
What do you mean?
He likes the blonde, whatever.
She was blonde.
She was fantastic in bed. She was 84. I've had older.
Why were they blonde? Because they were.
Yeah.
But I think that was an extension of his personality, right? It's he wanted to take care of their needs so much that it extended to the bedroom.
Yeah, he doesn't see the age. He just sees the idea that everybody needs something or
right.
And that extends, like I said, and he ends up in prison because when the old woman is she dies,
strychnine poisoned.
Yes.
He's assumed to be the culprit, so that takes him
because
to
the whole
prison.
family falsifies a document saying that he went there somehow the night before he actually showed up.
Right.
Yeah. And we should mention the executor of her will is
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
I was surprised no stuttering this whole movie. No,
Goldblum.
But see, that's why I was wondering if that was direction. It's
could be don't stutter, dude.
I want you to be exactly this, because there was that one scene where he was laying out where he had the photos of what happened at the crime scene, where he stares directly into the camera. So I'm he's got to be reading this or something. I don't know, but it's still a convincing the performance that he's giving you.
I almost think he's a better actor.
Doesn't break eye contact as he lays this whole thing out. Yeah, it was impressive.
Without the stuttering,
Wes Anderson didn't let him rest on that. It's just no stuttering.
Because that's his acting.
Don't do it.
That's his thing, right? He's I know how to be a realistic actor. I'll stutter.
Dino. Droppings?
Droppings?
I have to go back and
droppings?
watch Steve Zissou, but I don't think he does it in that either. I think.
Is he in that one too?
He's in that one, yeah.
Really?
But it's like, his mannerisms are all very, very measured. Very, everything's very slowly laid out and very methodical.
Which was awesome.
He was like almost everybody.
I think that extends just to the filmmaking in itself. Like Wes Anderson seems like a very measured out.
Well, he was a good storyteller. Right. Just like him walking into the room, as soon as he gets up there, and this music starts, and then he like puts his hand on. It's like, this is the last. It's like, it was awesome how like everything went to a standstill. Even like the audience talking, like, because all the family members up wanting to get something out of the will. And it was just awesome. I waited for everything to be quiet. Mm-hmm. Then the exposition music starts, and then he goes into his spiel. I was like, this is excellent. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm fucking shocked at this movie. I do not like Wes Anderson. He bores me.
But now, what are you basing that on? You're basing
a lot of his movies. I like, because like Bottle Rockets, there's a few funny jokes in it, or Bottle Rocket, whatever it's called. There's a few funny jokes in it. I don't like Rushmore. I don't like the Royal Tenenbaums. I like the Fantastic Mr. Fox. I didn't like Life of... a majority of his movies I do not care for whatsoever.
So the characters? I mean...
I don't... Just his pacing. His pacing. Sometimes it's like, I get it. The guy walked into the scene really funny and weird. You could tell he's like... the chemistry between the two characters is like, he's just one of those guys. He makes those weird movies, and like, I get it, it's quirky, but to have a whole career like that, it's like, what else do you got, dude? What else do you got but quirky people? But this was a great movie, but I'd have to see those original writings because it says it's based off original writings by Stephen Zweig, which we might actually find out more about the Nazi Rothschild connection if we read the original writings or whatever.
That's true.
Yeah. But
like your Tarantinos or your Kevin Smiths, he's got a voice. Like you don't have to look at the screen. I mean, you can look at the screen and tell it's a Wes Anderson film, but also you can listen to it and you can tell it's a Wes Anderson film. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's there's some sort of pentameter that he speaks in.
Well, there's always like a really almost like a mute character. He always has some mute character that's like just listening in to whoever the fuck is filling the screen.
He's so great at that. Yeah, like even like in this, like Schwartzman, he's the
concierge.
The concierge, and he's in the background, but as he's walking out of the frame, he kind of
they start talking about him.
That's what I'm saying. It's like watching a fucking Monty Python movie. That's why it's like he's hit and miss with me, because it's like, man, there's like European quirkiness to it, which I do like, but
That's the other thing. He can do, like, we were talking about his, like, filming everything like down the middle. That gives him opportunity. Like, we saw the jokes that he can add to the sides of the frame. Because there's Schwartzman dipping back in. There's Edward Norton popped up and turned around.
Edward Norton's in this film.
Like, he's able to do that. Just put little things in the corners and everything. It's very good.
And the comedic timing is perfect. Yes. I mean, this is definitely, he's not an improv
and that's what it has
director.
To be, right?
Like, everything is...
It is like, wait 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Pop up.
4 is not funny. 3 is funny.
Up, 3, count 1, then turn around.
Yeah. I mean,
which is awesome.
But it's that level of control of everything. I mean, like, there's nothing. You don't get the feeling that some directors are trying to catch a movie as it's happening. We're gonna catch, film it like we're covering a story, and this is like all very planned out. Yeah. Very planned, very strict, very, but I think the results are,
Which
fantastic.
is almost like a play, right?
It keeps coming back.
I would imagine a play has to be like that. Just to keep an actual constant flow to the play, you need those beats. Like, you can't wait too long to respond to somebody else, or your fucking show is going to be an hour and 40 minutes, not an hour 25, or something like that, and timing.
A lot of his scenes feel like almost he put a camera on the stage of a play, and captured it through the lens of the camera, because it could be, there's nothing that's like, I mean, it's grand, but it's grand in a way where like it's a model,
The fucking scenery, I was wondering, it's like, god damn, is this a fucking hotel somewhere? It's a beautiful scenery.
I was wondering if they built it.
Yeah, I was wondering too. I don't know if it's just scenery, like in studio or what.
I don't know.
I mean, if I was guessing, I'd say they built it.
They built it, I would say.
Just because all the time periods and stuff that they
But there's really only... but there's only the lobby with a staircase and whatever.
That's
and then
huge,
the different thing...
It is huge.
Well, it's huge, but it's not entirely...
you get that sense, like, just behind one of the doors. There's
exactly
the scaffolding.
Well, because they have in the, I forget what it was, in the 40s or the 30s, they had that cool round like middle concierge whatever, where in the 60s you saw it was kind of this plain box,
Yeah.
So.
Well, they also, there's a shot, and it could be anywhere really, but it's like of like the curved glass skylight that kind of runs the length of where the rooms are. Like you get the feeling like it's overlooking the lobby. But like that, do you build that, or is that a miniature maybe? I don't know.
It was already there.
Because I want to say the camera tilts up to it, but it's like this was the first time I really noticed it. It was just really impressive. Like, I don't know if it's real or not. And then they have the bathhouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which that could be real somewhere.
No, that's all built because the way they move between rooms, that's got to be set up specifically to get those shots.
Yeah.
Like the way they're connected and everything.
Well, he shoots also like a lot of like point of view camera. Like if he'll have two characters talking to each other, he'll shoot it at like a complete like right angle, right? So you got two heads looking at each other in the frame, and then he cuts to one of their the point of view of one of the characters.
Yeah, like looking right in their face.
Directly eye contact with them. But then in order to do that, you have to take that wall out. In order to get all your equipment in there, that's kind of giving away like where some of the obvious, the sets are.
Right. The trains, definitely.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
what about the prison? The prison.
I would guess that I built that too.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
it feels like a built
I think it's all fabricated.
Wow. Yeah.
The one thing I didn't like about this movie was its like blue night shot. The blue like day for night shots, or where the fuck those were. Those were really weird looking to me.
Oh,
like,
they're running like that.
Every shot at night almost just had like a weird blue haze. Like you could tell there was like, it looked kind of like a day for night shot. It probably wasn't necessarily day for night. It might have just been like on a studio lit, but then shot day for night. There was something fucking weird to it. The only part I didn't like.
Each time period has a different look. Like the 30s, it feels like they shot it with an older camera. Like they would do the vignetting around it, not just like not the in your face vignetting. Like, but
they did that on the Keys thing when they were calling the Keys guys. They started doing the vignette there.
The 70s or 60s was very, very orange. Everything.
I just figured out what it feels like to me, the way he shoots it. It feels like a dollhouse.
Yeah.
The big dollhouses that open up and you get all the levels, and everything is shot from, it looks like it always has 3 walls, and that 4th one's gone, and he's shooting from those spots. Yeah. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. And he does that in Zissou when he's on the ship, or the submarine, the boat.
Right.
He's, he goes, let me take you on my ship, and he goes through all the different rooms. And you can actually see the cutout.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Through the walls.
Yeah. I have a good memory of Steve Zissou. My experience with Wes Anderson was a friend of mine was way into Bottle Rocket, said, you got to watch this movie, and I fucking didn't get it at all. And then he was into Rushmore, you got to see this. And I'm like, okay, I can appreciate it, but it's just really not my thing. And Steve Zissou was the first one I thought, I actually was like, this is a funny movie. I skipped the Darjeeling Limited because it just didn't look appealing to me at the time. Maybe I have to go back. And I missed Fantastic Mr. Fox because I thought it was just a kid's movie. I didn't know that he actually had anything to do with it.
It is kind of just a kid's
movie. My Wes Anderson experience, is more, since I've been paying attention to the fact that he's Wes. I did see Royal Tenenbaums, but
I think we all saw that early.
Yeah, I saw it, but I don't really recall it all that well.
No, I don't either.
Man, I fell in love with that movie right from the start, and I saw it at the theater. And they went through, the whole opening credits is like everybody getting ready in the morning in front of the mirror. Well, they went through that, and then the projector stopped. They were like, "Oh no, what's gonna happen?" And then it came back like a couple minutes later, and it was right back at the beginning, so we got to watch all that again. And like everybody was cheering because it's hilarious, I think they first start with like the backstory on Royal, and then they go to that. But it's, I think Gene Hackman, I think Ralph Fiennes is probably like the
Rafe? I don't know.
Rafe. It's Rafe.
Which is it?
I'm telling you, it's Rafe.
The L is silent or somehow. I don't know.
I think Rafe is probably the best character he's ever created.
He's awesome.
But I think Gene Hackman as Royal Tenenbaum is a close
That's just because he's an awesome actor.
He's so good in that movie. Man. So funny.
That movie sucks.
Well,
it
let me
doesn't
ask you this then.
Since
your knowledge of his films is, clearer than what I can remember. I mean, I remember, like, Bottle Rocket to me didn't seem like it had what you would consider the Wes Anderson style to it.
It was the script, though. It was the dry humor, just the things they said. The
script was.
It was sight comedy. Like I was just telling Brent how I love in that movie how Luke Wilson gives his watch to the that Mexican maid that he's in love with. Then the next morning, her family calls, like, looking for her. He's like, what time is it? And he, like, looks at his, his bare wrist, and that's it. I died. That's the only joke in that movie I just died at, looking at his bare wrist. That's it. That's the joke.
Either
you get it or you don't. Like, it's one of those things.
Yeah, and it's, if you get it, then, like, that's going to be the joke for the next, however many films he's done. So it's, if you get that brand of humor, then you're pretty much all in.
I love that brand of humor, but, like, he's hit and miss with me. I love that brand of humor.
Which is strange, yeah.
But it's the same thing with, like, you're like, oh, I love BBC comedies. I can go, rent shitloads of BBC comedies, and they're not going to be all funny just because it's this type of comedy. It's not just like, it's hysterical always. Just like American comedy. It's not always funny, We got our Fat Mama's houses and our fucking, whatever we got.
That is like the second or third mentioning of Fat Mama's house.
It's fucking pathetic.
On this.
I thought you were going to hold that up as the example. There's sometimes it's not funny, but then you can only have so many Fat Mamas.
No, I'm just saying there's good American comedy, bad American. Just like you can't just be like, oh, British comedy, it's just all around hilarious. And it's like, well, I'm sure there's plenty that's not funny. Even though they think the fucking Home Improvements of, fucking BBC.
But I still think that, I mean, Wes Anderson, it's such a specific way of telling a story, I mean...
Well, that was my question. Like, do you see, like, an evolution of... Because it seems like Rushmore was maybe the first one where I can identify a sense of style in that we're seeing amplified in this. But I mean, can you chart like the evolution of his, style, or has it been pretty like with Rushmore or
I think so.
Bombs and just continued to do that for the rest of his career?
Yeah, I think that Bottle Rocket was done on a budget and he didn't have the means. I fully believe that he had that vision, but just couldn't pull it off with the equipment they had. But like on the success of Bottle Rocket with Rushmore, I think he figured out that, or he was able to do his visual style, and I think it's stayed consistent ever since.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really
because it was so artsy and just the comedy.
Yeah,
was so like, I mean, shit. They played Rushmore on Comedy Central for fucking just like 10 years. It's like, god damn, like it's the only fucking funny movie in America.
Well, yeah. I mean, like even when you look at like. It's not just the visual style, but the people that he works with. He's got it's growing, but he has like compared to other directors, he has a tight knit crew that he works with. Or actors. Everybody comes back and does the next one and the next one and the next one. But like it's not like a completely different cast each time. It's like, well, now we got Ralph Fiennes. He's the new one.
I mean, that's probably just a good director, though, right? Because, you always constantly find like, Woody Allen worked with the same actor, even though, like, Woody Allen's probably went through, like, 3 or 4 different sets of people but they'll work with him for, like, 15 years. Mm-hmm. These are the people working with him. Yeah. Another 15 years, these are the people working with him. And you got that with, I guess you can say people like Kevin Smith. People like Kevin Smith just know to keep,
So you got that with people like Robert Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, you got that. Jessica Alba.
You just like working with people.
Quentin Tarantino's got specific people.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino's always like...
If I'm comfortable working with these people and I think that they could do this part, then why not, offer it to them first? And they say, I had a good experience, so yes.
Right.
Some of these people might be... Because, I'm sure... I didn't hear of Jason Schwartzman until Wes Anderson. Right. So I'm sure dude kind of owes his career to Wes Anderson, so he'll probably just, do whatever you need, man.
Yeah.
Plus, he doesn't necessarily have much of a career outside of Wes Anderson. Bored to Death was really good series, but sad it ended.
Yeah.
Everybody watch Bored to Death.
Never saw it.
Awesome. Showtime.
Ted Danson.
Jack
Black?
No, Jason
Schwartzman. And
it was Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, that's it. The other fat guy.
His best
fat funny guy.
His best show, though. It is. Because I don't like any movies he's in. His best show. Period. Yeah, Bored to Death. Jason Schwartzman. Awesome, like kind of detective noir comedy. Awesome.
I have to check that out.
It's great, dude. 3 seasons, I want to say.
Travis recommends Bored to Death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just because it's the only like Jason Schwartzman outside of Wes Anderson, right? I mean, what else the fuck has he done outside of Wes Anderson?
He was
a killer drummer back
but
in
then
the day.
he's usually not in movies that I'm like seeking out. That's the only thing. It's the same.
Yeah, I will not.
I can't give you Sandra
seek out.
Bullock's like
Only Wes
filmography
Anderson.
either.
Oh, so you don't
know?
like Jason Schwartzman?
Not really. No. I mean, well,
I wouldn't
he's
seek
in
him out for
comedies.
anything, no.
I'm not.
But
you know.
only Wes Anderson. Like I'm saying, I don't think he's in anything outside of those.
He was
Not
in
that I can remember.
Funny People.
He's in I Heart
Funny People back
Huckabees.
in the.
Yeah, which for a while I thought was a
Wes
Wes
Anderson?
Anderson movie.
Really?
It looks like
Yeah,
it, right?
this was when I was younger, but it felt like a Wes Anderson movie when I first saw
I'm
it.
sure they were going
And I
for
hated that movie.
Dude, you know what
It's
else
bizarre.
I thought
It's bizarre.
was a Wes Anderson movie? Was Brothers Bloom. Like that had that same kind of like.
Oh
tone
yeah,
to it, you know?
yeah, kind of.
Which
It
was
does,
like-
and it's got Adrian Brody in it as
Yeah,
well.
So
yeah,
they just know it's quirky, so like
But it had that.
it has to feel.
it
Yeah,
works for this guy.
You're right.
It's just
and even
Let's
some
do
of
it.
the same. They have some of the same filming techniques. Ryan
Yeah.
Johnson and.
But I don't
Wes
see that
Anderson.
in like other Ryan Johnson movies. Like
No.
that was like a departure, even from from Brick to Brothers Bloom,
Right.
and then to Looper.
I think like Brick and Brothers Bloom are more related filmmaking style than they are to Looper. Like Looper is he's far advanced off of those two.
Yeah.
But
Brothers Bloom seems like it was some kind of debt owed to Wes Anderson.
It's something,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah, that one was-
I mean,
that
maybe he
one
just
was
made it
interesting.
more palatable. Palatable.
Palpable.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting
Point
to
Break.
see like
Point
a
Break.
filmmaker that actually, I mean, he doesn't pander to his audience. There's a joy to kind of like just watching the story unfold. It's one of those where you can't
Don't
tell
know
where it's
anywhere
going.
it's going to go. You don't
Well,
know who the main character is
even-
ever going to be. You don't know.
It seems like he's intentionally, in some cases, intentionally trying to subvert what the audience expectation is. I mean, right off the bat, there's that, the interview with the author, Tom Wilkinson, sitting at a desk talking to the
Oh my
camera.
God.
He's got his stuff he's
That
going to read.
kid.
And he's like, I'm going to tell you a story that happened to me on, blah, blah, blah. And then, like,
Stop
you
it!
hear this,
Stop it!
You hear this, like, door open, and he
goes,
looks
"No,
off
don't do
camera.
it."
Stop it!
And the camera whips over. There's this little kid running around with a, like,
With a dart gun, with a
dart
little
gun.
pellet gun. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, all right, we're just going to be weird and whatever. And then, like, the kid comes back in while he's still talking, puts his hand on his shoulder, and is like, I'm sorry. He's like, I know you are.
And yeah, right. Immediately, it's like, I know. It's okay.
It just continues.
So
thing.
good.
And it's like, where does that come from? Are you just intentionally
So
trying to
good.
do, like, well, we got to do one of those scenes? You know what would make it interesting?
Yeah.
Is if we had some unexpected.
That's
thing
what I
happen.
kind of think. I kind of think like you're thinking, okay, here's a man. Like, okay, I'm just thinking about. Let's think of like Iron Man. And in Iron Man 2, Tony Stark watches all the films of his father, just making a film and saying. So I can only imagine Wes Anderson is thinking, oh, what if while you're making this film something happens? This guy's
Yeah,
got
we're
a
going to
kid.
show him take 2, and take 3 was the perfect one. Take 2 is the one that got fucked up
Yeah.
somewhere along the way.
Fucking
That's more
genius,
interesting
man.
to show
Yeah,
than
don't
something
do
else. Don't stop it! Stop! Don't do that. Can we watch just that scene again?
I swear to God, that was so funny. That's when I had to let my guard down. I'm like, oh God, because I'm always like, oh fuck Wes Anderson. I will never willingly go into one of his movies. I just won't.
After this, will you?
Probably not.
I don't know.
Just because I
It's
know,
still,
like,
yeah.
I just know his.
I'm
type
more
of
open
films
to
are- like you have to surprise
exploring
me. You know.
You got to go see Moonrise Kingdom.
That one I want to
Rented.
see. That one I want to go back and see.
Yeah, I mean, that was similar to this as far as, like, as
Especially
far
if
as
it's got
the
Ed
tone
Norton.
of it.
I like Goofy Ed Norton.
And what it left you
Yeah.
with, when it was over.
It's very goofy.
It's fucking laugh out loud.
Because really,
funny.
it depends on how interesting his characters are. Because that's really what it all is, right? Is how
Yeah.
interesting his characters are, and just how fast they get to something of a plot or a story, like whatever. Because
Yeah.
that's the only problem with the kind of whatever you want. I don't know. I mean, what do you want to call it? Drab, not drab, quirky, dry. Just dry.
This one.
It's his style,
it's-
just his whole style.
It's a
kinda
quirky dry. Yeah.
It's kind of dry. Like it takes you a
Maybe
good
it's a dry
half an
quirky.
hour to kind
It's
of
a dry
find
quirky.
out what his movies are about. Like you
Yeah.
got to get into.
I thought that
there.
was interesting too. That it took so long to actually figure out what is the plot of this.
Yeah.
And then it got rolling.
Yeah.
So
He
you
gives
just
you
kinda-
characters, and then the situation just kind of comes
Yeah.
in.
But it
it's
wasn't.
always-
It's not boring up until
No,
then.
no, not at all.
There's still like interest,
Right,
That's what
exactly.
Because I feel like you're dealing with characters, and then you have to watch those characters deal with situations. It's not necessarily the situations driving the characters.
Right.
Right.
The characters are walking into the situations.
Yeah.
At least that's what it feels like.
Yeah. It does, and I mean the way this one unfolds is probably one of the most interesting ones that he's done. Really, I mean, it's just, man. Even like I love when you talk about sight gags. I love after they escape from the jail. I mean, all the stuff in the jail is great sight gags as they're escaping. You know, like the stabbing.
That was good.
Or they don't show it.
They're trying to escape, and they've made it the whole way through this, through the tunnels and through the rooms and through the garden, and they open a hatch in the floor, look down, and there's this table.
It's
with
like
this
a card game
going on. Playing a card game. Guards look up. The prisoner's like, "Ooh!" And then the one prisoner takes a knife out, and he's like, jumps in
They
there.
call it the throat slitter.
And you just hear this action taking place. Oh. And when we finally get to see what's going on,
you see a cop. The cops fucking stabs him.
Driving it into him,
And then he just...
like at the same
like
time.
a fucking ice pick thing.
It's like
very
the double
it's like fucking Saving Private Ryan.
It's a very no-win situation of war and death. But I thought that was awesome. You know, a dude gave up his life so those other guys can escape. That's kind of
and
poetic.
that even has
that's even done for comedy.
Well, he diffuses whatever kind of, because that's real violence,
right?
You know, but he diffuses it with well, I guess you'd call that a draw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the music's all upbeat. It just kind of, it's like we're not going to shy away from it. Where I think another movie, if it was, saying we're a comedy,
because
this is too hard.
Because he is barely a character. You know? He's a name, Gustav or whatever. That's really all he is, a name.
Who?
Well, the guy that died.
Oh,
the guy that died.
Pepe or whatever.
Yeah, his name was. I thought it was like Gustav.
Well, M. Gustav is.
Yeah, because I mean, he's not a character, so who cares how you see him die? It doesn't need to be dramatic. We know nothing about him or his situation.
What's so great, and this is again what puts Wes Anderson outside of the box, is the idea that you don't cut to the fight right at the beginning. And if you're an action movie, you cut right to it. If you're a comedy, you never cut to it. But he waits until the funniest moment to cut to the fight,
right?
Which is all the other cops are stabbed, and there's the last one, and it's a double murder type situation that's going on. That's hilarious.
Me, it's like a cartoon.
It's
like a cartoon because it needs to have the pacing, right? And all those old cartoons from the 40s was all music that they animated to, so everything had the pacing of the music and had. Same thing with when they were going up the little elevator things or whatever they were called, the ski lift or whatever. Lifts. And then as soon as it stopped, the squeaking of the swinging mixed in with the music. And then even when the second one came in, I was like, this is like a fucking cartoon, man. It's like a merry melody.
That was great.
That's genius. To me, that's brilliant filmmaking. When I like to know when they always say. A conductor does his job if you don't notice it. I love to notice music. I want to notice music going along with the scene. To me, that I don't know, it just does something.
Yeah,
it's entertaining. It's entertaining.
It's another layer that you get to discover, and if you don't catch it the first time, the next time.
And that's the thing with this. It makes me want to rewatch it because everything, the comedy bits, go by so quick.
Yeah.
Especially all the stuff Ray Fiennes was doing, it goes by so fast. You're like, wow, this is funny. I want to go back.
Yeah,
I want more.
And the early dialogue in this film, I'll be honest, I still don't quite get it. I mean, because everything that Jude Law is saying is so quick and it's so eloquent.
Eloquentious.
I'm not eloquent, but what he was saying was, and the first time in the theater, I was lost in the beginning, and then the second time here, I'm starting to understand it more. It's a flowered up version of basically, introducing the story and what we're going to be doing.
Well, I figure that's the book she's reading, right? The little girl that goes to the...
I am flowering.
But that's... my question is, if you've watched it a second time, do they... Because it seemed to me that style of speaking, the writing, never really changed throughout the movie. It felt like, Ray Fiennes' character spoke like that. Yeah. Other characters spoke like that along the way, so it was the first time you saw it, was it I don't know what, it takes you a while to get into it, and then once you're tuned into it, you're fine for the rest of the movie, or now seeing it this time, is it more verbose at the beginning?
It seems later on, it seems like the dialogue is more focused.
Oh, okay.
And in the beginning, everything...
It's narration.
Well, it's narration in the beginning.
Yeah.
Does he always employ a narrator?
Usually. Well, no. Well, I mean, Life Aquatic doesn't have a narrator.
Think Bottle Rocket does it?
No, Bottle Rocket doesn't.
I think
Tenenbaums does.
I think Mr. Fox does.
Mr. Fox does it.
I want to say Moonrise Kingdom did.
I can't recall.
Didn't it?
Did it?
It feels like it did.
Because I think Mr. Fox, acts more like a storyteller,
Yeah, well, at least
narrator,
there's
you know
moments
what I mean?
in the movie, in Moonrise Kingdom, I'm sure, where
Where
somebody's
goes.
reading something, and narrating.
Yeah.
What's going on? So
Tenenbaums is Alec Baldwin, probably the best narration ever.
I think it's just kind of like that 40s, just talky, right? I mean, that's what it feels like to me. Just the idea that, back in the day, they made dialogue so much just because, what did you have? You're making plays, that's all you have, is this guy's going to say this thing. So it seems like that's what the dialogue seems more like 1940s filmmaking to me. Because you got to listen to them.
Yeah.
If you're not listening, you're not going to fucking know what's going on. It's all dialogue. I mean, every detail.
And maybe that's a little bit of both. I mean, because the first time I saw it, you're, okay, who are these characters? Who am I supposed to be, And not knowing maybe like all the other characters in the hotel in the 60s that he's talking about might be main characters, but like I'm missing it. I'm like, wait, no, slow down. He's just going through it so fast.
I kind of wish some of those characters, because I don't know, at the very beginning, to me, he was building such a picture of like the type of people that would like live in a fucking hotel. Because that's what I was imagining right from the get-go. I was like, oh, imagine living in a hotel, just paying your weekly or your monthly fucking thing, I was kind of hoping some of those like tenets would have came into play, like if he would have made like specific references to certain tenets, that just because I don't know, I'm fascinated in that sort of idea, that because they're trying to make the Grand Budapest Hotel is an institution, not a fucking hotel. This is a thing, and there's the quirky people that live here, and like either some of them you notice, some of them know each other, some of them so I was like shit. I kind of wish Ray Fiennes or whatever. I kind of wish his knowledge of those people would have came into play, even though it was just Jude Law referring to those people and not the Fiennes character. But still, I'm just saying, like, they built a picture of these interesting people that live there, and they didn't get to be part of it.
And you could do a whole movie just on
right. But I think that's great that he can do that, and like leave you wanting, like give you just a little bit of that around the edges.
There's actually a lot of stories that involve that, though. That's why it interests me. There's a lot of stories that involve the quirky people that live in this house. That's like, oh shit, who lives there? Like I want to know. The lady number 3 does this.
Yeah. Well, and that brings up the point. Do you think that any of the like maybe subconscious Stanley Kubrick connection is with the Overlook? Like the Grand Budapest and the Overlook?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I suppose if you're making a movie set in a hotel, at some point, The Shining is on your mind in some
It's just the idea of what hotels meant back in the day. Hotels just meant something more. The Ritz-Carlton,
all the best people stayed here.
Yeah, it's just that idea that, like, because, rich people, they wouldn't, if you're making movies and shit, you're just staying at this hotel in New York. You're just staying here. You're just, so the idea that, rich fancy people stay in these fucking hotels and just interest you.
Fancy schmancy.
5-star hotels. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just, it interests me going back and just, replaying some of the shots. I mean, it does feel like, and I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out. It's like, does Wes Anderson have like, hey bitch, right? The new concierge, Freddy Krueger. But is Stanley Kubrick one of his idols, or?
Well, come on, what filmmaker?
But I
kind of hate Stanley Kubrick,
like,
and he's one of my idols.
Like he's taking it and trying to like evolve that style, or is this something that he came to on his own? I mean. I'm just kind of curious about that. I mean, looking at his stuff, it just seems like they share a similar photographic.
But look at Amelie,
and the lighting
right?
as well. Like if you look at the lighting in this movie, it's very reminiscent of like The Shining comes to mind. Maybe it's just because they're both hotel movies, but it's almost, I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost more of a spotlight lighting on certain parts in the background. It's weird. I don't know how to describe it.
I would say it looks to me
it's that
European.
lighting.
Yeah.
Because like to me, this looks like Amelie or something. like Amelie, has that weird, like, just vibrant fucking colors.
Well, yeah,
but it
at
doesn't have that
times.
clean, like, you know, because I guess what I'm talking about is like the way that Kubrick and Wes Anderson both go for this, like, you know, dead-on kind of symmetrical, you know, image. You know, it's like, or because who else shoots like that, where they will put like the subject, you know, directly in the center of the. Well, I guess Jonathan Demme did it a little bit, like Silence of the Lambs and stuff like that. He would do close-ups, so that was his style, I think, through Philadelphia and maybe some other stuff, where he'd get right up on somebody's face. But
well, Luke Besson. Luke Besson.
Does he do that?
Close.
Yeah, but
He's
I mean,
fresh.
like, but even like in a
He's
wide
fresh, of
shot
course
where
he
the
gets
subject would be like dead center in the frame, I'm like, who else does this stuff? If you're going to shoot a door, you look opposite that door. You're always about at eye angle with your subject. I mean, there's no real, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he did have like some high and low angles, but for the most part, it was like you were at
just creates a
eye
space
line with these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it creates a space, but it's like a geometric space in some way, where it's like.
I mean, right from the get go, when the movie starts with the girl, I mean, he always uses like it's like there is no like, I guess what you would call like mid close up. It's like he starts with an extreme wide, you know, with the camera way back. Damn, what's not close, but like extreme
wide angle.
Wide shot?
I guess just that. And then he'll just go in a little closer, even though that would be a normal person's exterior, like wide, like opening shot. That's his like coming in to the character, like seeing their whole body, and a little bit, you know, a good few feet above their head and a few like inches below their feet, like a foot below their foot. So you just get this like, fuck, you know, this. I mean, it's nice looking.
You're talking about it. The master shot is.
Yeah, his most people's master shots would be the person's full body, where his master shot is like, you know, about 20 feet from the ground to the sky, with the person walking in on the bottom third of the scene.
Yeah.
So
and then he goes in.
That's like how people used to compose films for a big screen. You know, I think now it's something that we've lost. Where like you're looking at, you know, they're checking everything on TV monitors, and they got to shoot like, you know, everybody's like close ups. So this is where we can see them. But when you're watching a movie in a theater, like, you can have people. The way you look at like big epic movies from like the '60s, you know, like Lawrence of Arabia or Ben-Hur, any of those, like their framing is, you know, you're seeing like entire, like almost head to toe or at least head to knee shots of people, you know, two people in one shot kind of thing, which now we're all a lot closer, you know.
You know what else he does?
Stop that.
The you know, the idea of having the entire ensemble or all the characters in a scene all in one shot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's an old-fashioned form of filmmaking that needs to come back because it's great.
I like it.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean,
and they're also doing the whole facing one direction thing.
Yeah,
that's
they're
weird.
not all around a table. They're all
it's definitely like a theater type feel.
Yeah.
I mean, just because like we didn't see one angle of the family, we only saw like when the whole family is sitting in that room waiting for the will to be read. You only see them from the extreme front and the extreme back. There's like no middle. Well, like you just want to see all those people in lines.
It's like he's drawn a line, like somehow, you know, like about whatever 3 feet, 4 feet up, and then just down the exact center, and like that's the only point at which you can have a camera.
Yeah,
somewhere along that line.
He's taken the 180-degree rule and like
just turned it that way.
Yeah, he's just can only stay in that line.
Right. The dialogue scenes where you have two people facing each other, it's like there's almost like this T intersection where like each person makes one point and the viewer or the camera makes the other one. It's like it's all like these geometrical shapes are being made or, you know, constructed in space. I don't know.
I thought it was really interesting when I'm trying to think of the exact scene. I forget what was so noticeable. Oh, when after Fiennes escaped from prison and they went back to the hotel, and there's the scenes. There's the scenes of like the people at the hotel recognizing him, but it was just weird how the camera's behind the characters.
Yeah,
and then it will just pan over to the person, and the person's reacting to the camera. He's not reacting to the line of sight that the characters are at.
Yeah.
He's reacting to the camera. I was like, that's weird as
They did
fuck.
that early when he was talking with, they were in the elevator or whatever, and he was giving the Zero the interview. When Gustav was interviewing Zero, he, because the close-ups on Zero looking off camera left, right? And then when the camera swivels over to Gustav, he's not matching eye line, because he's looking, the camera, he wouldn't be looking in that place. He should have been looking over here when the camera turned. He's looking here, That's not a good illustration for radio, but you can watch the movie and see what we're talking about.
You get the picture.
You should watch the movie.
Yeah.
So, should we wrap it?
Wrap it up.
I think so.
Wrap
I guess
it
it
up.
starts with me. That I want to see more Wes Anderson movies for sure. I mean, like I said, I either have to go back and reevaluate the earlier ones that I saw, with the new pair of eyes. I loved and liked Moonrise Kingdom, and I think I like this even more. So I'm just happy that I keep bemoaning the fact I'm an old fucking angry old man, right? There's something I sit there going like, God damn it, every fucking movie in Hollywood it's the same. They're just louder, they cost more money, they're bigger, flashier,
They're
but
too
it's
loud.
It's the same shit like every goddamn week. And the problem that I see with that, it's like, is that with budgets going up and all this shit, it's like you're squeezing out all of these other more interesting type of movies that can't find a theater screen to play at, and they end up going direct to video, or everybody's trying to find some new way of getting these to you. There's a couple rare filmmakers working out there, and I think Wes Anderson is among them that still get to operate with a Hollywood quality budget and get their films distributed nationwide. I mean, this is it goes out to mainstream theaters, but it's more exciting, I think, in some ways, because it feels new, it feels fresh. There's, like I was saying earlier, a joy to watching the movie. I mean, it has I'm not by ruining anything, but the ending is bittersweet, and when it's over, you're like, you know what, that was a fucking good movie. And that's kind of what it leaves you with. And
Fuck,
we
didn't even talk about that shit, damn it.
What?
Like the idea of like the SS Nazis stopping them on the train and like shit. We didn't even talk about any of that shit.
Well,
anyway,
they can watch it.
I guess so.
But yeah, that's a definite recommendation from me. That's Colin.
I loved it. I would not say the same for all of Wes Anderson's movie, but I don't think just because a director makes a crappy movie, I don't think you should discount him. Same thing with vice versa. Just because he only makes good movies doesn't mean you gotta love every fucking thing they do. So I'm glad that Brent made me watch it, because I would not have ever. I was done with Life Aquatic. I was just done. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm like tired of these people looking at each other with just like monotone faces and voices, and that's like the quirkiness. I'm just sick of it. But after a while, like I agree with Colin that I mean, the reason I say like it feels like just like foreign filmmaking to me, because like a simple thing, like it's a joy of watching it. Like it puts you in a universe where you have like almost no stake in anything. You don't feel too connected or too disassociated with anything in the movie, but you're just watching it. Like they're not even really focusing on like characters like personal intents, because really that's almost not for you the viewer to fucking know. These characters have their own ideas in their own heads. You're just kind of watching the outside play along, It's like, I love the scene. I mean, the only like real scene in this movie is when Gustav or Rafe finds escapes from prison, and he says like, well, did you get the costume or the disguises? The dude's like, no. He's like, well, what the fuck good are you? What the hell kind of like, whatever. And the kid's like, well, my parents died, when the war came there, quote unquote, the Nazis. And he's like, oh, so you're more of a refugee. Okay, well, forget everything I just said.
I apologize on behalf of the hotel.
Yeah, on behalf of the hotel. So I just like how even though there are some serious things going on, he never lets you look past what you're looking at. It's not your fucking position to know because I mean, most dialogue in movies is someone's personal feeling. So much to the point that it's like, well, people don't fucking talk like that, because no one's just spilling the beans. I mean, that's exposition, that's whatever. I like this to where you don't it's none of your goddamn business what a character really feels in his heart and soul. You only get to see what he says to other people, and you only get to see how he interacts with other people. That's for you to look at that and make a decision, whether it be accurate or not. Writing. That's good writing. That's showing somebody just in the life of, not just like, well, my mom died, in case you're wondering why I'm sad when I look at this picture. You know, it's just like, fuck, okay, well, that's not a mystery. You know, that's not like, you know, he just said it, so I guess that's what...
Counterpoint to that, I watched a premiere of a television show just recently, and the first, 3 scenes were, where they're introducing the characters. So a character comes in, sits down, and basically tells you everything about, this is about myself, blah, 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 blah. I do this, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. There's no...
Leave nothing to the imagination.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to act at that point. You just come in and fucking spew it all, and there's the character. I'm like, it's just...
I hate when you're watching, something of a sci-fi movie, and the character comes out, he's been like, how long's it been? 5 years? Yeah. It's just like, fuck! It's like, God damn it, exposition.
6.
You know it's been 7 years since this happened in this world we live in.
Yeah. There's this classic scene in... it's Born on the 4th of July, where they're in the kitchen eating, and Tom Cruise says something that the mom doesn't agree with, and she says, so-and-so, I don't believe in that sort of thing. Or, it's like she's explaining to her son what her personality is. It's like that would never, ever happen in the real world. I mean, it just would not.
By the way, you remember when this happened in your life?
7 years ago.
Right.
So I highly recommend this movie. I thought it was great fun. Can't say much else for other Wes Anderson movies, but at least he got one.
Mr. Fox, fantastic.
I love Fantastic Mr. Fox, but it had the Clune.
The Clune?
Yeah, Clune helped on that one.
The Clune needs to be in a live action Wes Anderson.
He does too, actually. He'd be fucking... Well, I don't know, actually. I don't know if he would be, because he has... The Coen brothers, they write for George Clooney. They know the comedy. George Clooney can act,
Yeah.
But I wonder, that would be a good, if you can get the Coen brothers to mash up with Wes Anderson to have the most, hysterical, 1950s comedy, hey, doll,
Quirky comedy mashup.
Yeah, just quirky comedy mashup. Maybe they could do, anthology stories. Anthology story with the Coen brothers and Wes Anderson. So, I recommend it.
Amen.
And he left.
Wonderful movie. Aside from Royal Tenenbaums, I think this is my first Wes Anderson movie, seeing all the way through. I've always been hesitant to see his other movies. Steve Zissou, didn't... Just from looking at it, I probably saw 15 minutes of it on HBO one day, and just, even like Travis said, it's just our monotone faces, just... I couldn't do it for some reason. I just never got around to seeing some of the other ones, He's never been a director who was my go-to to go see anything, I need to go see this. After seeing this one, this is probably... It's going to be tough to beat this one. So I'm still a little weary of going back and watching all his movies, but I definitely want to go back and check some of them out. I definitely want to see Moonrise Kingdom.
I think you get a close.
I think, because it's got the characters. The characters in this movie are fantastic. It's my favorite type of Ralph Fiennes. It's a goofier version of him, which I love. Great characters. Love the dialogue. I want to rewatch this right now because I really would sit down and probably rewatch this again. Or at least certain scenes, because just to catch everything that I may have missed. And
it doesn't have to be back till midnight tomorrow. So
well, there we go. But it's funny. I love what he does with the camera. Like we discussed, he just populates. He gives you center and then populates the rest of the screen with just stuff that you might not even see until second or third viewings.
Yeah.
If other films of his are like this, I'm in. I'll definitely go back and check some of it out. Yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Cool. Wow. This was... It wasn't thought after, decided... this... I had 3 other films that you guys probably all would have hated. But the off chance that I picked this is great. I've been a huge fan of Wes Anderson ever since. Really, I think what did it... Well, Rushmore is really what did it. But Royal Tenenbaums... is really what kind of put it over the top for me. And ever since Royal Tenenbaums, yeah, I mean, I've been in, like I said, Steve Zissou and Darjeeling Limited. At first viewing, they kind of, strayed from the path that I thought I was on with this guy, with Wes Anderson. But like, as I watched them more and more, I got into it more and more. And there's a familiarity with his storytelling that I think, like, now, I mean, he has proven himself that you're gonna get that, that Wes Anderson brand from every film.
Yeah.
And it's weird how, like we were saying with the music in this one, like, his filmmaking does call attention to the fact that you're watching a movie. It doesn't, like, hide it,
Exactly.
I mean, it's very in your face, but it's not in a bad way.
No,
it's
done on purpose.
Because you are watching a movie. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
So many films, you're supposed to lose that willing suspension of disbelief, or have that willing suspension of disbelief. In this, I always feel like I'm watching a movie, but I'm always impressed by it too.
It kind of goes back to what Travis was saying, like no real stakes in what you're watching.
Yeah.
Like you're watching and enjoying.
Yeah. It's
got nothing.
It's tough to identify with these characters, I mean, these are.
Do you have to?
Right, you don't need to.
You don't need to. No, you really don't.
I think you.
Do you?
You identify with them as
How do you identify with this?
No, I mean as human beings.
The lobby boy.
I mean, like, it's like you identify with them as human because so many times in movies it just seems like the personality of the thing was generated by a computer. It doesn't feel like a person. It's just like I am programmed to spell out this dialogue and then move on to the next scene because we have to move this train along.
Well, we only know this guy's quirky personality. We know nothing about him. We only know.
Right, and the fantastical sort of situations they come into, I think for me don't allow me to relate to them because I'm like I'll never go through that with a painting and have the ZZ chasing me and shooting at me and stuff like that. So I don't like I said, we can just watch them and thoroughly enjoy it, but I don't necessarily need to relate to these people.
I think because it's layered because there's there's all these different. I'm sorry, this is your.
Go ahead. No.
But because there's so many different little, because they have all these different quirks, it makes them feel more three-dimensional. Maybe that's three-dimensional as far as maybe not relatability.
Well, yeah. Yes. I mean, I think the characters are so rich that you want, like when the kid tells the story about his parents being killed in the war, that breaks your heart. But I can't identify with that personally. Because I haven't experienced that. But as a human, and the human, drama, I guess you could call it, tragedy, like I can identify with that, or I can
empathize.
Thank you, empathize with it. But yeah, it's detached from me. Like they're not like tapping right into my heartstrings. And I'm just like, that sucks. But I've never been there, so it's not like personal. But yeah, the empathy is there. So yeah, what was I saying?
I don't know, but you were very eloquent.
Well, then I should have stopped right here. I've loved every single Wes Anderson film I've seen. Some took longer than others, but I highly recommend this and go see his body of work. It's something. I mean, it's done with a confidence, and it's done with. He's got a good eye, and I think that visually, just. Again, I mean, you can watch this with the sound off. It's an amazing film. You can watch it with the sound on and the picture off, and it's an amazing film. So he's covered. You're covered on all bases.
At the end, watching, I kind of wish the whole movie was black and white. At the end, when it went black, and white, I was like, the whole movie kind of would look nice in black and white.
That was because there was like a weird tint. There was a little bit like a pinkish tint to the black and white. There's something. Maybe that was my TV.
The stars looking at night again.
I also want to point out we didn't say the girl's name.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about her.
Yeah, Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah.
I don't even think we talked about the character whatsoever.
And the lovely Belle.
All she really did, all her character did, was put the little hammers in cookies to give it to the prison. That's really all she did in the movie.
She was important because Zero thought she was important.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Great. And everybody loved the
she got the
Mendels. She made the
everybody liked Mendels.
She wasn't really making
like
the Mendels, but yeah. I mean, that's just great storytelling. I mean, it's awesome, fantastic. But yeah, so go watch it next week.
Next week it's my movie. So, shit.
Oh, come on, dude.
Well, I was gonna do like.
Are you stuck on it right now?
No,
I was going to do Rushmore, but...
Well, as I was thinking about it, I got another one that's set in a hotel. It was going to be 2 weeks away. Now, you know what? I'm going to stick with my original plan. We're going to watch Foxy Brown, the blaxploitation classic starring Pamela Greer as Foxy Brown.
Foxy.
It's a better movie than Dolomite. I'm making that promise right now.
That is pretty good.
Dolomite was pretty fantastic, man. You shut your mouth.
Okay, well, we'll put this one up to the taste test challenge.
Better watch what you say.
Yeah. So that's next week on the Saturday Night Freak Show. Until then,
Oh,
we're done.
Oh, shit, you got him!